Hey everybody, how's it going? I've got another video for you today. This one is a bit of a TTM video. TTM, if you don't know, stands for through the mail. And what I will do, and I know a lot of you guys do as well, is take sports cards from the various sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, and send them to the players on the cards along with a self-addressed stamped envelope and a handwritten letter. And for your handwritten letter, you're going to want to put something that about their career that maybe resonates with you, or maybe a memory that you had from when you were a kid, something that was meaningful. Make it look like it's not the same form letter that you're sending to every single player. Personalize it, have that meaningful interaction with them, make it fun for them. But most importantly, it should ask them if they're willing to sign the cards that you've included with your request. Most of them will do it for free. Some will charge a small fee. It's like $5, $10, nothing too crazy, nothing too outrageous. Buy them a coffee, make it worth their time. But anyway, without further ado, you guys know all that stuff, know where to get their addresses, sports card for them. Yeah, without further ado, let's see what came in. And I can tell you that a lot did come in since the last video. I was doing other videos, so let's get through this pile, shall we? Starting off with an 81 Fleer, and you know, if you've seen my videos, I've got lots of 81 Fleers. I'm slowly working through all those. But we've got a shortstop who played for the Angels and Mariners. We got a lot of Angels shortstops in this particular batch, but this one is Jim Anderson, played for the Mariners in the early 80s. We've got his 81 Fleer signed, which looks pretty cool. Going to basketball, we've got a center who played for the Atlanta Hawks. We got John Konchik. And I gather from looking at other posts and stuff that a lot of people got stuff back from him, so he must have done a batch. So if you're waiting on him, it's probably coming very soon. But we got his 1990 hoops as well as his 1990 Fleer. Next up, it's actually Danny Tartable's dad. We got Jose Tartable, who had a career in the 1960s. He played for the Kansas City Athletics as well as the Boston Red Sox. We've got his 1966 tops and his 1967 tops. And he does charge a fee. It's like $5. Totally worth it because he's like in his 80s. But his signature still looks really cool. Very happy to get that from Jose Tartable. Next up is an outfielder who played for the Orioles and then went on to play for the Yankees in the 80s. We got Gary Rennick. That's 1981 Fleer as well as his 1986 tops, and then he went on to play for the Yankees, and I've got his 87 tops with the Yankees. Next up is a shortstop who played for the California Angels, shortstop number 2 for the California Angels. Got Dick Schofield. Got his 1985 Fleer, his 1988 Fleer, as well as his 1986 Fleer and his 1988 Donruss. I'm so happy to get those from Mr. Schofield. Next up is shortstop number 3 for the California Angels, and we've got his 1975 tops and 1977 tops, Dave Chalk. And in my upcoming videos, you'll see that I've got a lot more 1975 tops, so you'll see a bunch of those coming through. So this is probably the start of that, but we got Dave Chalk, so very happy to get those from him. Next up is a player who kind of bounced up and down between the majors and the minors in the 80s and mid to late 80s. Played for the Braves, Paul Runge. I'm not sure if I pronounced his last name right, but we got Paul Runge in 1986 tops, as well as 1989 tops. And then keep waiting for the last two. The last two are the best, but not that the other ones aren't good, but we'll get through them, but stay tuned. Next up is a right winger who played for the Minnesota North Stars and then went on to play for the Devils. Late 80s, early 90s player, Bob Brook. Very happy to get those cards from him. Going back to the 70s with baseball, we've got a catcher who played for the Minnesota Twins, Glenn Borgman. Got his 1975 tops as well as his 1977 tops. And then this one This one I kind of feel stupid with this one. I just didn't know. You can't know everything, but this is interesting. So I sent 2 cards to a pitcher who played for the Royals in the 70s, Steve Busby. And on his 1975 Topps, he wrote, "Not my picture." And I didn't realize that he wasn't pictured on his 1975 Topps, which actually, upon research, I learned that it was a catcher named Fran Healy. Fran Healy is actually pictured on this card. It's not Steve Busby, but he still signs it, but he wants everybody to know that that's not him, so he writes "not my picture." So if you send him, be mindful of the 1975 Topps. But I did get his 1978 Topps, which there he is, looking good on his 1978 Topps, and that's him pictured, and he signed that one happily, and I happily, yeah. So stupid me sent the 1975 Topps, but I don't know everything. Next up, we have a pitcher who played for the Montreal Expos in the mid-80s. Got Bill Lasky. Got his 1986 Topps and his 1986 Fleer. And then we have a player, and I think this player only had one card, one baseball card, one Major League Baseball card, and it was of Don Ross 1986. He didn't have like a Topps 86 or any of the others. He just had this one card. Mark Funderburk, who was a DH for the Minnesota Twins for a minute. He has a card and he signed, so happily he signed that for me. Next up is a catcher who played for the Orioles. I think he was like backup to Rick Dempsey, might have been. Fan favorite, Floyd Rayford. Got his 1986 Topps, 1987 Topps, and 1988 score. Happy to get those from Mr. Rayford. Next up, we have a pitcher from the Boston Red Sox, late 80s. You guys have junk wax, you probably have cards of him. Steve Crawford. Got his 86 Topps, his 86 Topps, 88 Topps, as well as his 88 score. Happy to get those from Mr. Crawford. Next up is a catcher who played throughout the 80s for the Indians. If you watched any games in the 80s, it seemed like he was always playing. Chris Bando. Got his 84 Topps, his 86 Topps, as well as his 88 Fleer. And he likes to include an extra bonus card that he inserts with requests, which is really cool. And on the back, it's got like some religious stuff. So if religious stuff is your thing, he's got you connected for that. So happy to get that from Mr. Bando. And then here's a pitcher who played for the Blue Jays and Brewers in the mid to late 80s. Tom Filer. Got his 1986 Topps, as well as his 1989 Topps and his 1990 Fleer with the Brewers. Next up is back to hockey for a second. We've got a defenseman who played for the Boston Bruins. Got Don Sweeney, and I've got a couple of his Parkhurst sideways card. A couple of his Parkhurst cards. And then I've got his 1990 Pro Set and an Upper Deck card as well of him signed. So happy to get those from Mr. Sweeney. Next up, we've got a pitcher who played for the Cincinnati Reds in the early 90s, Chris Hammond. Got his 1990 score as well as his 1991 Upper Deck. I really like his signature. It's really cool. Don't you think? I think so. Yeah. Next up, an 86 Topps pitcher who played for the Mariners. We've got Brian Snyder. Can barely see his signature, but it's near the bottom. Kind of gets lost in that picture. Now we're at the best two Hall of Famers from two different sports. Just great players. First up is hockey. We've got a Hall of Famer who played for the New York Islanders in the 70s into the 80s. Dennis Potvin. And I think he does charge a fee. I think it's like $10 or something, but it's Dennis Potvin. So yeah, very happy to get those cards from him. Very cool cards. Happy to add those to the collection. Thank you to Mr. Potvin. And then last up is another Hall of Famer, different sport. This one's from basketball, and he was a great player in the 70s. Played for San Antonio Spurs. known as the Iceman, George Gervin, and he was a guard. He did his like finger roll thing where he'd throw the ball into the hoop. Just amazing player. He does charge $20, but for a player of his caliber, makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, cool player, cool card. Happy to get a Hall of Famer for the collection, George Gervin. So that ends it for this particular week, this particular batch. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with me and looking at cards. If you did, leave a comment below, maybe a subscribe, whatever. Yeah, I love interacting with you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.